Welcome to this video on multiplying proper fractions and whole numbers. So remember, a proper fraction is a fraction in which the numerator is less than the denominator. So an example of a proper fraction would be 3/8, where the numerator is less than the denominator. So this value is less than 1. If I have 3/8 of a pizza, it's less than a whole pizza. And a whole number, remember, a whole number kind of is what it sounds like. It's got to be a whole of something. So whole numbers are these numbers right here: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, forever. So 872, that's a whole number. 10, that's a whole number. So it's basically a number without a fraction or a decimal part. So we're going to be multiplying proper fractions like 3/8 and whole numbers. So let's just pick a whole number here. How about we multiply that by 6? 3/8 times 6. So we have a proper fraction times a whole number. Well, you remember when you're multiplying fractions, you just multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. Well, 6 here, it's not written as a fraction, but it's really easy to write it as a fraction. Any whole number can be written as a fraction by just putting it over 1. 6 over 1. Remember, fraction means divide. This fraction bar means divide. So I could think of 6 over 1 as 6 divided by 1. 6 divided by 1 is 6. So I haven't changed the value here. I've just rewritten 6 as a fraction, 6 over 1. Well, now it just looks like the problems we did before, where we've got a fraction times a fraction. And so we can see if we can cancel anything. Or we could multiply straight across and then worry about reducing. But let's go ahead and see if there's anything we can cancel. Let's see, I got a 3 and a 6 in the numerator. I can't cancel this 3 with this 6 because they're both in the numerator. It has to be one number from the numerator and one number from the denominator. So I can cancel a 2 out of this 6 and this 8. So let's do that. I'm going to divide both those by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Alright, that's all I can cancel. So now I'm going to multiply straight across. So 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 1 is 4. So I end up with 9/4. Now 9/4, that's an improper fraction because the numerator is greater than the denominator. So most of the time, if I come up with an improper fraction for my answer, I want to write that as a mixed number. And again, to write this as a mixed number, I'm going to think of this as a divide. So in my brain, how about this? Let's make my brain over here. In my brain, I am thinking I want to do 9 divided by 4. Now some of you guys can just do this in your head, which is fine. Some of you might need to write this step out until you get used to it, which is fine. So how many times does 4 go into 9? Twice. So that's my big 2. That's going to be my whole number part of my mixed number. And 2 times 4 is 8. How many left over is 1. Now this part that's left over, this little review here of changing improper fractions to mixed numbers. This part that's left over, is going to be the numerator of your fraction. That 1 goes up there. And then the 4 goes down here. 4. We'll make this red. Okay, so my final answer is 2 and 1/4. 3/8 times 6 is 2 and 1/4. What does that mean? 3/8 times 6. 3/8 times 6. If I had 3/8 of 6, it would be 2 1/4. If I took 6 pizzas and cut them into 8 equal, or divided them amongst 8 people. So these numbers aren't really nice, but just to get a picture, 3/8 is a little less than a half. I mean, a half of 6 would be 3. So 3/8 of 6 would be less than 3. It would be 2 1/4. Always want to try and make sure that the answer makes sense to you in some way. So if I had 6 pizzas and I divided them amongst 8 people, 3 people would have 2 1/4 pizzas. And it's a little hard to visualize, but maybe we'll come up with another one that's easier to visualize here. Let's see. Let's try another one. How about 10 times 3/4? Now let's do 10 times 2/5. Maybe I can draw a picture of that when we're done. Alright, so 10 times 2/5. So we're going to put the 10 over 1 and see if there's something we can cancel. You might want to pause this and work it out yourself and then hit play. That's always good with math, is to try to stay one step ahead of your instructor if you know what they're going to do. Alright, so 5 goes into 10 2 times, so I'm going to cancel. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 10 twice. Then I multiply 2 times 2 is 4. And 1 times 1 is 1. Remember, this is divide, so 4 divided by 1 is 4. So the answer is 4. Alright, let's see if I can draw a picture of this. I wonder if I could make some circles here. 1, 2, 3, oops, that's not a very good circle. Pretend. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, maybe I can get rid of this one. I'm being a little bit picky here, but let's make it nice. Okay, so let's say I've got 10 circles, and I want to find 2/5 of 10. That's what this problem was doing, 10 times 2/5. So I'm going to take these 10 circles and I'm going to divide them into 5 parts, 5 different piles, let's say, or for 5 different people. So I'm just going to show that with a line between them. Or maybe I'll circle them. There's 1 pile, 2 piles, 3 piles, 4 piles, 5 piles. So what's in each of these circles is 1/5 of my total amount of 10. If I had 10 pizzas. So if I have 2/5, that would be 2 of these piles. These 2 piles right here, which is 4 of my pizzas. 2/5 of 10 would be 4. Now again, you don't have to be able to draw these pictures to be able to do the problem. You can know how to cancel and multiply and get 4 without drawing all these circles out. But if you understand what's happening and why it's working, then it will help it stay in your mind. It will help it stick. I'm sure you've experienced where you learn something and the next day it's gone. Well, part of that is just practice. It takes a while to learn something new, but part of it is understanding what's happening, and if you have a picture of what's going on, it really helps things stay in your brain. Well, I hope this video helped with multiplying proper fractions and whole numbers.